Thronmax sent over their MDrill Ghost, and because of that, we get to play a little game where I'm going to talk into each one of these microphones and not tell you which one I'm talking into to help you determine which one you think sounds best. And I want you to leave your guess of which one you think sounds best in the YouTube comments before I reveal to you which microphone is which. Does that make sense? If not, well, sorry, I guess you'll just have to figure it out because I'm not really good at explaining these things. Let's take a look. This is what this microphone might sound like out of the box and without any software alterations. The MDrill Ghost has true 96 kHz 24-bit digital recording. You can also choose from 4 recording patterns: cardioid, stereo, bidirectional, and omnidirectional. This is what this microphone might sound like out of the box and without any software alterations. The MDrill Ghost has true 96 kHz 24-bit digital recording. You can also choose from 4 recording patterns: cardioid, stereo, bidirectional, and omnidirectional. This is what this microphone might sound like out of the box and without any software alterations. The MDrill Ghost has true 96 kHz 24-bit digital recording. You can also choose from 4 recording patterns: cardioid, stereo, bidirectional, and omnidirectional. Of the 3 clips I played for you, which one do you think sounds best of the 3? Also, are you able to guess which sound clip belongs to which microphone? If so, drop those in the comments and let me know if you were right on your guesses or not. Let's reveal which microphone was which and see if you guys are right. This is what this microphone might sound like out of the box and without any software alterations. The MDrill Ghost has true 96 kHz 24-bit digital recording. You can also choose from 4 recording patterns: cardioid, stereo, bidirectional, and omnidirectional. This is what this microphone might sound like out of the box and without any software alterations. The MDrill Ghost has true 96 kHz 24-bit digital recording. You can also choose from 4 recording patterns: cardioid, stereo, bidirectional, and omnidirectional. This is what this microphone might sound like out of the box and without any software alterations. The MDrill Ghost has true 96 kHz 24-bit digital recording. You can also choose from 4 recording patterns: cardioid, stereo, bidirectional, and omnidirectional. Speaking of out of the box, this is what the Thronmax holds inside of the box, and it comes with this pretty cool carrying case. Now, I don't know if this is already something that's trending, if this is something that other brands are doing, but I think that from this point forward, all brands should just give you a carrying case with your microphone inside. Because if you're going to like a LAN party or something, or even on a trip, it would be pretty cool to have a case already for your microphone. That's a really awesome thing, and I'm glad they've included it. Now, inside of the actual case, you have all the standard things like your USB to USB-C cable. I love that the USB portion of this is right angle connected. That's very cool. The cable itself is braided. That's also really nice to see. We also have a USB to USB-C cable. This is great if you have a Mac, so you don't need, or a newer Mac, so you can just plug this straight in. The only downside is they don't include a right angle USB-C on this cable, which I don't understand why, because they clearly thought about it. Also, this cable's not braided, so it's like, why are we downgrading here? I don't understand like who made that decision or why that decision was made. It'd be cool if they could make the USB to USB-C cable match the USB-A to USB-C right angle connector. Also inside the box, we have this little door hanger, so do not enter when recording, or recording is paused, come on inside. That's actually kind of like cheesy, but I kind of like it, and I might actually end up using it just because reasons, to let other people in the house know that, hey, I'm actually recording, please don't come in. There's a sticker. I personally don't care about stickers. A lot of people out there like stickers, but oh, there's another sticker in here too. So if you're one of those people that loves stickers for whatever reason, to stick them all over things, there you go. You get a couple stickers. Me personally don't care, but so be it. We have the connection guide. This is actually pretty useful, so make sure you definitely keep this in hand. And then of course we have the case with the microphone itself and this adapter. So I think you can put this on a arm, so that way you can screw it in, have it kind of like hanging there, depending on what kind of setup you have. Really cool that this is included. And then of course we have the Thronmax microphone itself that's strapped in. I love that. And yeah, it's pretty sweet. On the rear of the Ghost, we have a knob for controlling the microphone gain, so you can increase or decrease that. And then we have a volume knob as well. So if you do have your microphone plugged into this, you can increase and decrease the volume. On the bottom of the microphone, of course, we have a button to control the RGB. You can cycle through all the different modes, find the one that you like best. And of course, if you don't like it at all, you can press and hold to turn it off completely. Pressing and holding again re-enables the RGB. For mounting options, we have a 1/4 screw hole there in the center, and then the larger diameter screw mounting point here is 5/8. So that's really cool that you have both options out of the box. You will probably need an adapter with your mounting arm at home, since this doesn't come with any. It does come with the boom arm adapter, so you can actually use that instead of these for whatever reason, but I don't know. I like that this is included. And then of course we have a 3.5mm audio jack should you decide to plug your headphone into this. Moving on to the front of the device, this is pretty much where you will do all of the controlling of this microphone. So we can cycle through the different recording patterns. We of course have cardioid, stereo, bidirectional, and omnidirectional. So that's how you cycle through those. And then of course you can mute and unmute yourself by pressing this, which currently isn't working because I just have this plugged into USB, but this is how you mute and unmute yourself. For those of you that are curious about the onboard amplifier of this microphone, it does have a power output of 180 milliwatts. It has an impedance greater than 16 ohms, and it also has a frequency response of 15 hertz to 22 kilohertz. So I don't know what that means, but for those of you that just need to know that information, there you go. Remember the connection guide that we just unboxed? Well, it's actually pretty important for this microphone. So it does include instructions on how to set this up for Windows and Mac OS. And so I think we should do that according to the connection guide so we can give this microphone its best fighting chance. So let's hop over to Mac OS and set up this microphone according to how Thronmax tells us to. And then we'll redo that test so we can get a better idea of what this microphone actually sounds like. Let's take a look. On macOS, to make the changes to the audio so that way it sounds best according to Thronmax, we're going to hit Command Spacebar to open up the sound menu. So we're going to Sound System Settings, and they recommend increasing the volume to about 78% or somewhere around here. So not past the 80% mark to 100%. And that's the first change. So once we've made that, you could probably tell that I sound a lot louder now. The next change is probably the more important change, and we're going to search for MIDI. This will bring up the audio MIDI settings. Make sure you have the Thronmax Ghost 2 inputs selected, and we're actually going to want to change this from 48 kilohertz 2-channel 16-bit integer to 2-channel 24-bit integer. Next, the recommendation is to decrease the decibels to 8. Now we're going to want to make sure we select both of these equally, or else it'll sound funny. You'll get kind of like more left and then more right audio, or vice versa. And those are the recommended settings. So now I should sound pretty good, but there's still more that we need to look at. One of the ways that Thronmax also recommends that you can talk into this microphone is directly into the top of the microphone like I am now. So I have it just below my mouth and I'm speaking basically directly into it. And this is what the audio might sound like. I am not really sure what to expect talking into it directly from the top, but we are in cardioid mode, so this should sound pretty good in my opinion. But let's go ahead and switch where we're back talking into the face of the device, which is one of the other recommended ways to talk into the microphone. The other recommended way talking into this microphone is speaking into the face of it. And of course, you want to have it fairly close to your mouth so that way it can pick up your voice really well. And these are all settings that you might want to change and adjust on your own to really bring out your voice, because everyone's voice is different and will sound different. So you can play with these settings and make it sound as appealing to you or your audience, and that way everyone's pleased all around. One of the last things I wanted to do for you guys is actually put a sock over this microphone so you can get an idea of what it might sound like if you are live streaming or gaming or whatever it may be, talking to your friends. This is what it could sound like if you had a sock over it. Now, this isn't the best sock that you could have in the world. They obviously come in a wide variety. This is just one that I have laying around, and I've used it for a long time, and it works pretty well in my current setup. And so hopefully it is also working really well in this setup. You can tell this microphone's made for gamers because continuing the trend, it obviously has to have RGB, But at least on the plus side, you can change this RGB colors to, strobing, solid, or just completely off. I kind of like that. Honestly, I think this looks pretty cool even with the RGB included. I'm personally not a fan of RGB. I kind of just like a muted aesthetic, but it's not bad when it's tastefully done. And I think in this case, it's actually pretty tasteful. I like the kind of like fins and grill design of the microphone. So adding the RGB to it doesn't actually really take away much, and it does add some effect to it. So I don't know, it's just a personal preference. Obviously this has nothing to do with the quality of the microphone itself. It seems like the actual physical microphone is pretty high build quality. However, the bass stand, while heavy, which is great so you don't have to worry about it toppling over, the arms on it are pretty cheap. It's a cheap plastic. I feel like this would degrade or possibly even break over time. And you should probably be using a microphone on a monitor, or on a microphone arm anyway, monitor arm, on a microphone arm anyway. Wow, I can't speak. Just so that way, you have more maneuverability and you can really position it better to be in front of your mouth. But yeah, not really a big fan of the bass, but it has some perks. Like, it's pretty hard to actually slide across the desk because it does have a rubber pad on the bottom. That's a really nice touch. I haven't seen other brands do this. It may be a thing, I'm not sure, but I do like that it doesn't slide too easily across the table. It sticks pretty well with its own weight. I did play around with this on Mac OS and on Windows, and while I only showed Mac and not Windows, I did want to take the time to mention that as far as drivers go, I didn't have to install any on either Windows or Mac. It just works straight out of the box, and of course, using the user guide, I was able to adjust the microphone to make it sound better and more in accordance with what Thronmax wants you guys to be able to hear and expect out of this device. Now, I wasn't able to test it with the PlayStation like this is apparently compatible with. However, I think it would probably sound pretty good, and judging based off what I've seen with Mac and Windows, it probably also just works out of the box and there's nothing you need to do. Now, that's just a guess. I can't prove that because, again, I don't have a PlayStation, but I suspect it would probably just work. Now, with all that being said, I'm not sure what else is left to mention about this device. If you're really curious to know more about the specifications of this, I would just highly recommend looking online because there is a ton of detail that they provide about this. The box has tons of information about it. I think that what's most important about this is just being able to hear it and kind of compare it against 3 different brands so you can get an idea of what it might sound like. And so with all that being said, thanks Thronmax for sending this over. Appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching this video, because without you guys watching this channel, of course, videos like this just would not be possible. Peace.